Welcome to Hushed Voices. I'm your host, Roshni Suparna Divakar. Hello, this is Hushed Voices, an exploration into lesser-known stories from the Indian subcontinent. We're back this week with the second part of Chundan Raja. If you missed the first part, please go back to the previous episode. Here's what's happened so far. An orphan princess is thrown out of her house by 6 of her sisters-in-law and is told to return only once she has married Chundan Raja. The youngest sister-in-law tries to help her, but to no avail. The princess, abandoned, wanders through jungles until she stumbles upon a tomb. She seeks shelter in the tomb, only to find that the man lying there comes to life at midnight. He tells her that he is Chundan Raja, doomed to die every day after a few hours of life. Taking pity on the princess, Chundan Raja asks the Brahmin who is the caretaker of the tomb to marry him to the princess. The princess finds a home in the Brahmin's house and visits her husband's tomb every night when he comes to life. One night, while talking to her husband, Chundan Rani asks him if he knew the reason behind his half-life. She wonders,
"Oh, what joy it would be if you could come wholly to life again. Do you know what is the cause of your daily death? And what it is that brings you to life each night at 12 o'clock?
"Yes," he said, "it is because I have lost my Chandan Har, the sacred necklace that held my soul. A pari stole it. I was in the palace garden one day when many of those winged ladies flew over my head, and one of them, when she saw me, loved me and asked me to marry her. But I said no, I would not. And at that she was angry and tore the Chandanhara off of me and flew away with it. That instant I fell down dead, and my father and mother caused me to be placed in this tomb. But every night the pari comes here and takes my necklace off her neck, and when she takes it off, I come to life again. And she asks me to come away with her and marry her, and she does not put on the necklace again for 2 or 3 hours, waiting to see if I consent. During that time, I live. But when she finds I will not, she puts on the necklace again and flies away. And as soon as she puts it on, I die."
"Can't the pari be caught?"
asked the Chandan Rani. But her husband answered, "No, I have often tried to seize back my necklace, for if I could regain it, I should come wholly to life again. But the pari can at will render herself invisible and fly away with it, so it is impossible for any mortal man to get it." At this news, the Chandan Rani was sad at heart, for she saw no hope of Raja's life being restored, and grieving over this, she became so ill and unhappy that even when she had a little baby boy, it did not much cheer her, for she did nothing but think,
My poor child will grow up in this desolate place and have no kind father day by day to teach him and help him as other children have. He will only see him for a little while by night, and we are all at the mercy of the pari, who may any day fly quite far away with the necklace and never return."
The Brahmin, seeing how ill she was, said to the Chandan Raja, "The Rani will die unless she can be taken somewhere where much care can be given. For in my poor home, my wife and I can do but little for her comfort. Your mother and sister are good and charitable. Let her go to the palace, where they will only need to see her and take care of her." Now, it happened that in the palace courtyard there was a great slab of white marble, on which the Chandan Raja had been wont to rest on the hot summer days. And because he used to be so fond of it, when he died, his father and mother ordered that it should be taken great care of, and no one was allowed to so much as touch it. Knowing this, Chandan Raja said to his wife, "You are ill. I should like you to go to the palace, where my mother and sisters will take the greatest care of you. Do this, therefore, take our child and sit down with him upon the great slab of marble in the palace courtyard. They will most likely see you there and order you to go away. But if you tell them you are ill, they will, I know, have pity on you and befriend you." The Chandan Rani did as her husband told her. placing her little boy on the great slab of white marble in the palace courtyard and sitting down herself beside him. Chundan Raja's sister, who was looking out of the window, saw her and cried,
Mother, mother, there are a woman and her child resting on my brother's marble slab. Tell them to go away.
So she ran down to the place, but when she saw Chundan Rani and the little boy, she was quite astonished. The Chundan Rani was so fair and lovable looking, and the baby was the image of her dead brother. Then, returning to her mother, she said,
Mother, she who sits upon the marble stone is the prettiest little lady I ever saw. Let us not blame the poor thing. She says she is ill and weary. And the baby? The baby seems to me the image of my lost brother.
At this, the old Rani and the rest of the family went out. And when they saw the Chundan Rani, they all took such a fancy to her and to the child that they brought her to the palace and were very kind to her. In a while, she got well and strong again and much less unhappy. They gave Chundan Rani a small house to live in, close to the palace, where they could often go and visit her. There also the Chundan Raja would go each night when he came to life, to laugh and talk to his wife and play with his boy, although he still refused to tell his father and mother about his existence. One day it happened, however, that the little child told one of the princesses how every evening someone who came to the house used to laugh and talk with his mother and play with him and then go away. The princess also heard the sound of voices in the Chundan Rani's house and saw lights flickering when they were supposed to be fast asleep. Of this she told her mother, saying,
Let us go tomorrow night and see what this means. Perhaps the woman we thought so poor and befriended is nothing but a cheat, and she entertains her friends every night at our expense. Let us go find out.
So the next evening they went down softly, and there they saw not the strangers they had expected, but their long lost Chundan Raja. Then, since he could not escape, he told them all how that every night for an hour or two he came to life but was dead all day. And they rejoiced greatly to see him again and reproached him for not telling them earlier. He then told them how he had married Chundan Rani and thanked them all for taking care of her. After this, he used to come every night and sit and talk with them. But still each day, to their great sorrow, he died. At last one evening, when they were all laughing and chatting together, 7 paris flew into the room unobserved by them. And one of the 7 was the very pari who had stolen Chundan Raja's necklace, and she held it in her hand. All the young paris were very fond of the Chundan Raja and Chundan Rani's boy, and used to often come to play with him. He used to laugh and clap his little hands when he saw them, for though men and women cannot see paris, little children can. Chundan Raja was tossing the child up in the air when the paris flew into the room, and the little boy was laughing merrily. The winged ladies fluttered around the Raja and the child, and she had the necklace hovered over his head. Then the boy, seeing the glittering necklace which the pari held, stretched out his little arm and caught hold of it. And as he seized it, the string broke and all the beads fell on the floor. At this, the 7 paris were frightened and flew away, and Chundan Rani, collecting the beads, strung them and hung them around the Raja's neck. There was great joy among those that loved him, because he had rediscovered the sacred necklace and that the spell which doomed him to death was broken. The glad news was soon known throughout the kingdom, and all the people were very happy and proud.
We had lost our young Raja for such a long time, and now one little child has brought him back.
And the old Raja and Rani, Chundan Raja's father and mother, determined that they should be married again, and they sent letters to all the kingdoms of the world, saying,
Our son, the Chundan Raja, has come to life again. We pray you come to his wedding.
Among those who accepted the invitation were the Chundan Rani's 7 brothers and 7 sisters-in-law. And for her 6 sisters-in-law who had been so cruel to her, the Chundan Rani prepared 6 common wooden stools. But for the 7th, who had been kind to her, she made ready an emerald throne and a footstool adorned with emeralds. When all the Ranis were taken to their places, the 6 eldest complained, saying,
What is this? 6 of us are given only common wooden stools to sit, and the 7th has an emerald chair?
Then the Chundan Rani stood up and before the assembled guests told them her story, reminding her 6 elder sisters-in-law of their former taunts and how they had forbidden her to see them again until the day that she married Chundan Raja. And she explained how unjustly they had accused her to her brothers. When the Ranis heard this, they were struck dumb with fear and shame, and were unable to answer a word, and all their husbands, being much enraged to learn how they had conspired to kill their sister-in-law, commanded that these wicked women should be instantly hanged, which was accordingly done. Then, on the same day that the Chundan Raja remarried their sister, the 6 elder brothers were married to 6 beautiful ladies of the court. And from that day, they all lived together in perfect peace and harmony until their lives' end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thanks again to Vrinda Loiwal for voicing the female characters in this tale. You can find Hushed Voices on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links are in the description panel. Thanks again for listening.